Well, hello everyone. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I sure did. And I wanted to film a little bit of this book. I've tried to film it already a couple of times and knocked the camera over, started sneezing, doing all kinds of crazy things. I tell you, sometimes when you're filming, it just doesn't always work out. Well, anyway, I've been busy the last few weeks. I've had this pretty well finished. I still like a few pages in it, but I had to finish up some things outside, clean those flower beds like I showed in the last video, and I got that done. We had our first freeze last night, and I had to do some other things, and also I cleaned my craft room. I really was in a cleaning spree. Free. I wish I was free. Anyway, look at this. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my goodness. Check this out. Look at this. If I don't knock this camera over, we'll have it made. I'm filming this on my iPhone. I want to see how this works. But anyway, first of all, I just used a hardback book, followed kind of a little bit, tweaked it myself, but Crafty Irina's idea on using a hardback book, and I just actually purchased this one and just used the pages in it. And the front of it is a calendar, and this is just an old wood piece there that I found out in the storage room. Some pieces of Texas, and that's where I'm from. Never felt so good, and I just love these flags that are on the front. That just felt really good when I saw that. And then this is an old vintage trim up here, and this is what I'm planning. I'm going to make something like this to close it with. This goes on that other journal that I bought, but this is my plan to use for the closure. This is that elastic that you make those bracelets out of, and then they just string these beads through it. And I have a bunch of things like this that I can add to it too, so I'm excited over that. And on the side, I want to use something like this dangling off of it. I haven't got that made yet, and this is one that had been on that other one, so I have a lot of things that I can add. This is just cute. And she just put that on a ribbon, so that's really sweet. You can use it for a bookmark too. So, all right. And let's get in here so I can hurry up and get it done. I'll try to keep it in frame. This is a postcard that my husband received as a thank you one time. And, you know, I bought some things from an Etsy dealer. And this is just a thing that I used it for a pocket, but it's just went on airmail envelopes. And since it had the red, white, and blue, and I did a lot of different kinds of pastels. Let's see. I guess you'd say I did chalk, pastel chalk, watercolor, gesso, and all kinds of paint mediums in that. And I like the way it turned out, and did the same thing on this, but I covered it up with this Gone to Texas. And Gone to Texas, that's a little story I always laugh and say my daddy couldn't get there fast enough. He was from Missouri, so he was born and raised in Missouri until he was he was still a teenager type when he came to Texas. I think he left and came when he was 17 and went to work for the railroad. And so when he was 1919, he married my mother, so they had 8 children. So I always say they've helped populate Texas, and we're still populating Texas, because I was their 8th child, which I've told that many times, and they had us over a 21-year period. Can you believe that one? My mother kept having babies over those years. This picture here is my daddy when he was in World War I. He wasn't married yet to my mother. he was engaged to her. I love these uniforms, and I love old pictures. But that right there of my dad, I think is just so neat. And look at that building back there. Wouldn't they flip if they had something like that? Ah, that was at, I think this was at Fort Sam Houston. And that's in San Antone. And I've been to that fort too. Used to live close to San Antone. All right. Here we go. This is the other page that I did with the little staining around on it. I liked how that turned out. This is just a doily I stamped on and pasted it on there. And my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Oh my goodness, I love that song. And that's, I think that's a, oh, they call that a red, all of a sudden I can't think of the name of that stamp. I was going to tell you the name of it, but it didn't, it's red something. Anyway, this right here was some old vintage trim. I bought it at an antique shop a long time ago, never knowing that I was going to even start making journals. But I got it out, and I said I'm going to use some of that for this journal. And that says Celebrate Freedom. And this pages here was the blank pages at the first of the book. And that was just a little tiny little man. Looked like he was marching, so I said I just left him. It looked like he was a stamped march. Here, Land of the Free. This page here might have had a little gesso and gelatos. I don't know. I just had fun doing the pages up. And I stained around the edges of them. And I had made this kind of for a bookmark. And so I just left it and used it like that. This right here says USA. And this is an old airmail envelope. And it's actually dated 1968. The 50th anniversary of the U.S. Airmail Service. And what makes it so neat is it's got a 10-cent stamp. And also it's got a postmark of Washington, D.C., which, you know, that's the capital of the United States. And the letter was never mailed, so it was somebody bought it for a collection. And then this is another part of that beautiful, I really liked, I used a lot of this, and it's a calendar. And I had some, but you know, I filmed this already. I sure say I had some tags in there, but they're not in there right now. I don't know where they went. That's funny. God, they were already, they must have jumped out. I must have not put them back in there. Anyway, all right. This right here is, I should have straightened the book up because, like I said, I filmed it once already. And this right here is an old piece of thing that I had saved. I used to get my bank back a long time ago. It says, United We Stand. At the bank, they put my money in there, and I saved some of them because they had the flag on it. And I stuck this little thing I cut out, safety, and I stuck it on it. That's a paint sample thing. And I used some old rickrack down here. And this right here was so neat. And this also, I bought it at that Etsy dealer, but it's got the Star Spangled Banner, which we sang many, many times and still sing it, but sang it in school. And then My Country 'Tis of Thee, Sweet Land of Liberty. Of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's Pride. You know, that is such a beautiful song. And what made this so neat is that right up there is 5/20/39. And whoever had this, sure it must have been a little free because it was a little book. It was kind of a part, but whoever had this wrote that date up there. So this is older than me, and I was excited when I saw that. When I was putting this in the book, it's the first time I saw it. So that was neat. So this is really, I'm getting to be an antique, and that's nearly an antique right there. So I love that kind of stuff. I love the history. And that was said up here, it said Independent Oil, Pintus Independent Oil Company, owned and operated 100% by local people. Oh my goodness, I bet that was interesting. Oh, so here we go. I may not get much this done because I'm running out of time as always. But anyway, this right here is just a something I bought a long time ago to decoupage, but I never did. I like to carry out the, the patriotic look, and this was the Declaration of Independence when they've had 13 colonies, and that's got very interesting, and I love the handwriting signed by all those men. I said, oh, whoever did that handwriting was something else. This is just a copy, of course. And this right here is some, I bought a lot of ribbon one time and had it in my stash, and I did my Christmas tree. I always had a lot of patriotic stuff over at the other house, and I did my Christmas tree one year in patriotic, probably bought it during that time. And this right here is another page of that, another picture out of that calendar. And this is a little topping that came on one of my birthday gifts from Hazel Marie. Sweet Hazel Marie. She gave me some beautiful things that were to use in my patriotic book. And my birthday is in July, so a lot of people give me a lot. And I love that picket fence. Oh, and let me show y'all this. These are some, talked about my flag. This is the flag, and if I don't get a bunch of glare on it. I used to have a flagpole in front of the house, but that has such an illusion. It looks like it's way off. I used to take pictures of my beautiful sunsets. Doesn't that flag look like it's touching the sky? That was a stormy day. You can still see some of the storm clouds in the distance, but that up there was the shining of that sun on that storm clouds that were left. And oh, I just love taking pictures. Here's another one. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? These were different days, taken different times. I have a lot of pictures taken with that flag because I've even got it in the snow and everything else. Here's another page that I really thought was neat. Did it with a napkin. Decoupaged it on and glued it on. And this is an old airmail envelope somebody wrote in, I think it's 1950. And the stamp on it is 6 cents. And I also got it out of that. And Alice had put these real cute things on banners, little paperclip banners on red paper clips. So I thought, well, that'll work. Those are pretty. And postcard. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know they had an airmail postcard. But I remember when we used to write those postcards, oh my goodness, we didn't miss a spot on the back of them. We wrote on the sides. Anybody could have read them, but my mother loved to get letters from us, and she was a great letter writer. I don't like to write letters because y'all know when I write a letter, I do it just about like my comments. I always used to do too long. I never could know where to stop. This is a tag, love. I thought it went with the theme. And then in here is another little, I got this in the mail, but it had a flag. And I do have some tags that are in here. Blue bonnets are a part of Texas. So, of course, that was some old ribbon I had, and I just stuck it on that red tag. And then here I used I made a little flower out of some of that napkin, and then stuck one of the stickers, and that's a little bit of a paper doily there. And this was a stamp. I mean, not a stamp, a stencil. And that's a stencil down there. And this is just kind of like a little piece of a postcard. And I did a lot of staining and different things. I loved how that stencil, I just bought it. And I think it's pretty. This I had shown once. Oh, I hate this because it's going to end up, and I'm going to have to get off and probably do another part of this book. But I wanted to see if I could film it. But anyway, this is what I did to show it the first time. I got these stamps, and they worked, did a little gesso on that, and just stamped it on that page. I think it turned out so pretty. And then here's another page that is really neat. I used made a little flower out of the paper, and then this is a birthday card my sister gave me, and it's a little something I got out of something. And God bless America. Okay, y'all stay extra safe in Jesus, and I will be back with the second part. And bye-bye now.